back to Studio 5. You know, picture some of the couples you know who have the strongest relationships. And if you could get them to share the qualities that really make their relationships work, what would they say? Studio
5 relationship coach Dr. Matt Townsend is joining us after what you could call a little research project. You've just discovered some similar qualities among these strong couples that you say we all can learn from. Do these apply to younger couples or older couples?
Everyone can learn from these. The first one is we don't cackle. We are cackleless, and we don't, even if we were going to cackle, we wouldn't do it publicly.
I connect with that.
You know what I mean? We also don't call each other names.
I was forced into it.
It's my fault. It's my fault.
You were trapped.
I take responsibility.
It's entrapment. We don't do that if we want to have a long-term relationship. Just let you know. But these are things that all couples do. And so you're going to see from our examples, there are couples that are fairly young to couples that are fairly old. But learn the spirit behind what's happening, because these aren't perfect couples. Okay, so let's just get that. Every one of them is like, oh, we're not perfect. We're like, yeah, whatever. But you don't have to be perfect. You just have to teach us something. So there's always something to learn in the families around you, okay? First one I want to talk about are the youngins, okay? We call them Kenzie and Jason Towner. They teach this principle of constant cheerleading for each other, okay? They are the best advocates of each other that you will ever see.
How so?
Cute little couple. When you go and just read Kenzie's Facebook page, you hear about how hard her husband's working. You hear about what a great job he just did on the yard. You hear about all of the great things he's doing. And you hear it from her. Now, interestingly, when you go talk to her family, you hear how great of a son-in-law he is from her family. Everyone is talking about what a great guy Jason is, and Jason then in turn talks about what a great gal Kenzie is. When we are cheerleaders for each other, it builds this momentum that, you know what, my partner's great, he's not perfect, but I'm always going to see, I'm always going to be behind him, I'll always have his back. That is an enormously powerful principle.
It's contagious,
it's
too.
Totally
like
contagious.
You pointed out, the in-laws getting in on
Family starts getting on. Now, what happens all of a sudden when you've got a son-in-law that's amazing, and he even messes up or does something stupid? We still have this history of him being amazing. So it makes it easier for us to go back and default to amazing again. If you've never known anything about your son-in-law except he's just a lazy bum, and that's all we keep hearing over and over again, it gets easier to get rid of these people and to just jettison them from our lives. So one of the first principles is we need to be constant cheerleaders. Research shows couples that have their partner that's a cheerleader, that is constantly making a big deal about little things that are positive and making and blowing them up, that actually creates longevity in relationships.
You know, I think often because we're such good friends, we have a great working relationship with our spouse, and sometimes we have fun poking fun at them and making them cackle when they don't really want to, and that kind of stuff. You know,
calling him a witch.
Yeah, all that stuff
like that.
But I can see the benefit from avoiding some of that, even in good nature, belittling to just being a constant cheerleader.
And it's just this constant structure that creates some rigidity. So we always know that we've got the good structure built, even if we're not perfect.
And like you said, it can be the little things, not just the big accomplishments.
It can be little things. You don't want to be sarcastic. Oh my heck, you got up. No way. And you put your clothes on. You got out of your jammies. That's not good. That's cynical. That's sarcastic.
Right.
Okay. So that's a great tool. So if you're out there and you know you need to do more of that, pick up your game. Second one, Leon and Karen Peterson. These are two of my favorite people on earth, okay? A couple probably a little later in life, in their 60s, 70s, early 70s. These people love music. And he, in fact, I think is the chairman of the music department up at the U. That wasn't his career. He just fell in love with music. Karen supports music, and they raised money for scholarships at the University of Utah. They've raised $3,000 scholarships for dozens of them. And they just invited us to their cabin the other day up near Wanship, and they just brought about 60 people, 30 couples in, to do nothing more than share their passion for music. They weren't trying to raise money. They weren't trying to like get people to pay. They just wanted to share a passion for music. And we spent 3 hours with Leon. Leon paid to bring in some incredible artists and share their passion. And Karen was totally supportive, and they did nothing but service because they want these younger generations to have the passion for music that they have. And together they're working on something. They bring these people up. They ended up giving us 6 CDs of just classical music that I have had in my car and I listen to every day now. Now, I don't like all of it, Some of it's opera that I don't understand. But honestly, I'm actually falling in love with it, and I'm catching their passion. But to have something together, research shows couples that have a shared passion and joy, something that they can do together, it could be anything. And it might be that Leon loves it more than Karen, but Karen loves seeing Leon happy.
Well, I was going to ask, they're so lucky to have something together. What about the couples that don't have anything together to share?
In fact, most couples probably don't. But what Karen probably, and I think Karen loves it as well, but I think what Karen finds more joy in is seeing Leon and that what it does to his health, what it does to his life, to be able to bring these families up. They did 3 concerts, about 60 people, just for free. And I mean, they cost money. And the Petersons were paying for it, but it's something they share, and just to see his passion probably invigorates her.
So even supporting the spouse's passion.
And then actually, if I had a spouse that was really into something, I would find something. I'd try to be more than just supportive. I'd try to find something I like about it as well, because I'm going to be doing it a lot. I do a lot of speaking, so my wife has actually, I've involved her in part of it so she can have some passion around organizing my speeches, getting me there, making sure I'm dressed appropriately.
So she finds that little part of your passion that she shares as well, and then by that she can share that.
And now she's trying to talk me into go be in a choir, and I'm not sure I'm there yet.
You keep listening to that classical music.
I totally will. I will.
You'll be singing opera.
But not least, and this is my favorite, okay? Susan and Roy Payne. And you're not going to see a picture of Roy here, okay? Susan Payne is about 5 years younger than her husband. Her husband's ailing in health, was just put into a senior living center. And she doesn't have to live there. She's perfectly healthy. She could live anywhere. She moved into this care facility in Draper. It's residential care, so they all live in this big house together. There's about 10 other seniors in there, and then Susan and her husband. And Susan is serving every single human in there. She is up. I got called the other night about 10 o'clock at night because one of the ladies in there had fallen and just needed some support and needed somebody to come and have a prayer with her and be with her. So she called me, and I went over there at 10 o'clock at night. Susan's not the caregiver there. She's taken that role on. So she went into a situation where she didn't even have to, and turned it into love so that she could actually love being there. That is the greatest example. Now, it's funny, we don't even show Roy, but Roy didn't want to be shown. But Susan is so unconditionally loving that every one of those pictures of those seniors that you saw, every one of them have stories about Susan loving her. So the idea is you don't have to be loving where you are. You just have to be loving. And if you're loving in your relationship, even if the relationship's not perfect, you're going to find your peace. And when you find the peace, that's probably all you're really looking for in the end. You don't always have to have a perfect marriage, but you can have a perfect love. And you can have that whether your partner's coherent and giving it to you or not.
Great
Perfect example.
Good
Great.
stuff.
3 important lessons that all of us can learn.
And they're everywhere.
You always have great lessons to learn. In fact, you're taking your show on the road looking for people to tell you where to go, right?
So here's what we're doing. We're going on the road. It's called Smart Relationships Now. So it's kind of a mix of my women's classes and my date nights. We're going everywhere. Between now and November, we want to come to your community. Let us know where you are. So go to Smart Relationships Now, and we'll come to your community. All you got to do is tell us where you are, and we'll set up in the next 6 to 8 weeks. We're going to be there. We film everyone, and then you can go online, and there's literally hundreds of hours online to get help. We just did one in Bountiful. Huge success. We're going to Ogden. We want to go to Vernal, St. George, Tooele. You tell us where you want us to go. We'll be there.
Put in those requests.
Make it smart.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, guys.